1 second. Got a sneeze stuck in my nose. Life is short. Have you ever just found yourself sitting there at the end of a week, at a Sunday, about to start the next work day on a Monday, and just thought to yourself, where the hell did the last week go? Hi there, and if you are new to this channel, my name is Gabriel, and welcome to the first ever, drumroll, monthly book review. Now, wait. Please don't just click off the video because you don't like book reviews. I mean, I'm like you. The last time that I did a book review was probably in year 5 and I did it on Harry Potter. So no, there's no essays here. This is just a monthly style video that I want to start making where I put forward to you a book, try and explain a little bit about it that hopefully entices you into actually going out and reading it. And at the moment this year, I'm trying to get through a lot more reading than I used to and have come across absolute gems of books along the way. And that's why in today's video, I want to talk to you about, wait for it. Make Time by Knapp and John Zeratsky. That was definitely not the first time I tried that. By John Zeratsky, Jake Knapp, and John Zeratsky. Jake Zeratsky and John Knapp. John Knapp and John Zeratsky. Jake Knapp and Jake Zeratsky. No, Jake Knapp, John Zeratsky. Jake Knapp, John Zeratsky. I'm going to talk to you about Make Time by Jake Knapp and John Zeratsky. I mean, I could hold it for the whole video, but this is it. So let's take a quick look as to how these two ex-Google and ex-YouTube employees came up with this idea of making time. Well, it all started with them discovering that there are two main things that suck all of the time out of our day. The first one is busy bandwagons. Now that is the thing that is constantly keeping you busy at work all day. And I think the number one culprit is emails. They fly into your inbox at all hours and they expect you to answer them. And the other is infinity pools. Now, this is very much a modern 21st century problem where we have content upon content. Anything that you can pull down and that refreshes is an infinity pool. Something that in theory you could literally stay on for infinity amount of time. Your Netflixes, your Instagrams, your Facebooks, so on and so forth. You don't need me to explain. There's a new app every single week. And these are the two things that are constantly demanding your time. And in this book, they come up with a really clear idea of how to stop your days flying past without you remembering what happened from one day to the next. And that all stems around an idea of a highlight. Now, no, your highlight does not need to be the most incredible thing in the day. You don't need to be running marathons, producing movies, or anything of that kind. What the highlight simply is just something that you look forward to every single day. Something that at the beginning of the day or the night before you say, yes, that is the one thing that I want to get done tomorrow. Now for me, that has ranged all the way from making sure that I go on that run that I really want to go on, to seeing a good friend, to even getting that PowerPoint presentation done at work. It really doesn't matter what it is. It's just something to make sure that each day goes past and you know that you've achieved at least that one thing that you set out to achieve. And they lay out a really clear 4-step procedure to ensuring you get to this result. And that is highlight, laser, energize, and reflect. So let's break these down quickly. Highlight, really easy one. It's the one thing every single day that makes you remember that you've achieved something that day. Again, it does not matter what it is. Moving on to laser, this is the idea that all of the distractions in your life need to be swept under the carpet for that period of the day that you allocate towards your highlight to make sure that you get it done. Energize is all about ensuring that you create that laser environment. It's very hard to concentrate from distractions if you have no energy. So making sure that you're energized when you're ready to take on that highlight of the day is key. And finally, it's reflect. Now there's no point taking on these highlights if at the end of the day you don't look back and actually realize that you have or haven't completed that highlight. And they are very clear to say in this book, there is no judgment, no stress needed in terms of making sure you get your highlight done. Yes, this is a system that hopefully allows you to get to that highlight every single day, but if not, reflect on it, realize what went wrong, and try again tomorrow. Now you're thinking to yourself, cheers Gabriel, smashed it, thanks for clearing up the book, no need to buy it now, sorted it. But what I've touched on is literally the highest level summary that I can give. What this book actually contains is almost 100 tactics that take on all 4 of these categories. Things that you can try this one or try that one for each section and see what works for you to make sure that you can actually follow these 4 steps. To actually be a little bit more precise, there are 87 of them in the book. 87 tactics that you can take on throughout your day, from don't watch the news to stay hungry. Now, if those are confusing titles to you, then you better go and get this book. What I'm actually now going to do is take a little bit of a dive inside this book and share with you my favourite tactic from each of the 4 sections. Highlight, laser, energize, and reflect, so that you guys get a little bit more of an insight into this book, so you can start to see some of the thinking and procedures that they go through in this book to try and help you out get this highlight done. So under the umbrella of highlight, the number 1 tactic that's worked for me is called blocking out your calendar. And yes, it's as simple as the title says. If you allocate a specific period in your day, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 30 minutes, and put it in your calendar and ensure that nothing else goes over that time, you are one step closer to ensuring that your highlight is kept to on a day-to-day basis. Now the tactic that I'm choosing for laser is probably my favourite out of all of them, and that's because it's such a simple idea but causes such massive effects, and that's called logging out. Now when it comes to social media, the main downfall and reason why most of us find it so easy to become trapped in a world of Instagram or Netflix or Facebook, because it's at the tap of a button that you find yourself scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Now, the tactic of logging out is, as it says, just log out of those applications after each time that you use them. And what this does is it creates another barrier, another bit of resistance towards you going on these apps. If I now go on Instagram and I see that it's logged out and I have to actually put in my details. Now, quick side note, no, you can't have your details saved on iPhone, so it takes 2 taps instead of 1 tap to get into the app. Make sure that you write down your password somewhere else so that you don't forget it, but this only works if you actually physically have to type in your address and your password each time. And essentially what that's done is that every single time I go on the app and I have to put in my details, it jogs my memory to realize I don't actually want to be going onto this infinity pool and being trapped in a world of content for hours and hours. And it's quite simple. I close the app, don't look at it, and that barrier of resistance has saved me hours and hours and hours per week. When it comes to energizing yourself, they come up with loads and loads of tactics, but my favorite one by far is all about optimizing your caffeine intake. If you're like me, then you will absolutely love coffee. Can't get enough of it. And it turns out you can be quite tactical when it comes to drinking caffeine at the right times to ensure that you have as much energy as you need when it comes to doing that highlight of the day. Now they do go into slightly more details when it comes to caffeine. When caffeine goes into your blood, it mimics this chemical called adenosine. I really hope that I've pronounced that correctly. And adenosine is the chemical that tells your brain and tells your body to get sleepy. Now, when you're drinking caffeine, your body thinks that the caffeine is the adenosine. So essentially, it blocks the adenosine from actually doing its function. So contrary to all beliefs, caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. What it does is it stops you getting tired. I know, mind blown, mine too. And one of the tactics that they come up when it comes to optimizing your caffeine intake is called caffeine naps. One thing that you can actually do is go have that coffee and then take a quick 15-minute nap. And what that will do is, number 1, stop your body producing that adenosine because you've had that nap and you don't need to be sleepy after you wake up. And secondly, block any of that further or last bits of adenosine from actually activating that sleepy mechanism in your body. And combine the two together and you have the most powerful system of not getting tired, and that's your entire afternoon sorted. And finally, when it comes to reflect, what I like to do is make sure that my highlight was written on a sticky note, that it was actually put somewhere, and that sticky note goes next to my bed, so that every single night I can go to my bed and have a look, see, did I do that highlight? Yes or no? Did those tactics work for me that I tried from the book? And if not, there's another 80 that I can actually go and try out the next day. And if it did work, great, I've got my tactic that will make sure that every single day I manage to complete my highlight. From the side that time, I thought I'd shake things up. So that's everything from my January book review. I hope it was a good one to kick it off with, and I would highly, highly recommend you buying this book, or if you have my personal details, drop me a message and I will give you this copy happily to borrow. I don't know if that counts as my first giveaway as a YouTuber. But if you have enjoyed this style of video and you want me to do more reviews like this in the future, then please drop me a comment down below of a book recommendation that I will definitely look to include in future months coming up. And if you haven't already, leave a like on the video, subscribe to this channel for more content like it, and I'll see you next time.